Hi, I'm Phil Munkos, Realtor in Houston. Today I'm going to show you some of the things you should be looking for when you're buying a new home at your final walkthrough. I'm going to do a real world example of a house that's closing in Meridiana soon. Um, the buyers are out of town, so they authorized me to do the walkthrough for them. And then after that, I just checked out a couple inventory new homes in Sienna just to see some other common problems I'd run into. So yeah, I think I developed a pretty good eye for this. I used to be a custom home builder. So yeah, I know what to look for. I tried my best to turn over homes that were pretty much flawless. And when I moved here to Houston from Canada, I was kind of shocked at the new home quality, that there were just so many things that the builder could have picked up on their own. The builder that did my home, I don't know, the construction manager guy just didn't have an eye kind of thing for things. He was hard working and stuff, but he just the sheetrock problems. I could almost count the sheetrock sheets on the wall kind of thing. You could see the outlines of them. They're totally willing to fix things, but it's just like, why do you even need to say it? So I didn't really get into paint. That's obviously hard to show on video. It's more of an in-person kind of thing. It's like if there's a big gouge in the wall, you can see it, but video's not going to be helpful. The only thing I'd say about paint is, rather than trying to do the whole wall at once, what I would do is kind of keep it small, scan small areas and move methodically over the wall like that, rather than trying to do the whole thing. Another big thing was like cabinet touch-ups. They knew about the cabinet touch-ups and they knew about the paint stuff. The builders did anyway. They just leave it for closing kind of thing, because it was an inventory home, a lot of people walking through it. So if things get banged up, they don't try to get it 100% before they have a real buyer. So yeah, let me show you what's next here. So this is the last thing before I jump into the home that I was going to show you. These are stats from 2024 in Sienna, and realtors were involved in 86% of the new home sales. So if you want to work with a realtor but you're worried the builder's going to penalize you in some way, they're not. Realtors are involved in almost all the sales. This is Sienna, but Meridiana would be about the same. You can see the builder roster here. It's all, hopefully you can read that, but they're all quality builders. The builders like that don't really get into cutting out realtors or anything like that. So bring your realtor. Yeah, if you're looking in the Houston area, definitely give me a call, and we can talk about the builders, their different strengths and weaknesses. I hope I can provide value. Hopefully this video shows you that. So yeah, let's jump into the home. And again, this is the home in Meridiana. So this one's kind of hard to see. You can kind of see a chip in the window there, and then there's a crack. And I'm sure they would have picked that up on their own, but anyway, it's funny they left that to closing, almost closing. This one, you can see daylight through the door. This is the back door at the patio. I'd always look for daylight through an exterior door, even a window, but especially doors. You don't want to be, it's kind of fiddly work. You don't want to be trying to deal with that on your own after closing. More, and now window issues. They didn't seem to be like they were going to fix these. It didn't really look that way, but it was the same problem in a lot of windows. You can see how it's like the window's kind of high over here, and then it trails off and it's low over here. And then down here, it's the opposite thing, where it's high over here and low over here. And then I saw the same thing on this one. See how out of square it is? And down here too. And then one more over here. Oh wait, this was a different issue. This is one where, again, it's probably like an out of square type of thing, but it's just not sealing there. I don't see daylight or anything like that, but that does not look like a tight seal. So I'd be looking for things like that. And as for, you'd say, well, get a home inspector. Yeah, you definitely not. I'd never say don't get a home inspector. If I was only going to get one home inspection though on a home like this that's already completed, I'd wait till like 10 months or something like that before my 1-year workmanship warranty expires and get a full list to deliver to the builder then. I try to get, pick out some things by eye, by myself before closing. And even after closing, they'll do it, probably just get it done for you if they point out something that's real. But then you have to accommodate people coming in your house after closing. So yeah, there's that. So you see, and then one more window issue. This one was the one that I'd be most concerned with. just this water stain here. And maybe they were working outside and, you know, for whatever reason just wasn't weather protected, but I'd be keeping an eye on that one. And if I was getting an inspector, I'd be getting them to check that one out for sure. That was on this whole list. That was the one that bothered me the most, I guess you could say. So yeah, let me check something else. Okay, hard to see on the picture, but big gap here between the wall and this and the railing. They didn't do the finish coat on the railing. I think they were going to handle that one without any prompting. Yeah, just they're just going to put the finish coat on here, then caulk that. But there's an unsightly gap there. This is in the shower, one of the showers. So you can see this, like the sheetrock stopped a little short, but instead of finishing it off nicely, it's just like it looks bad kind of thing. And you don't. This is looking up into the ceiling, so you might not notice unless you're really looking around. But once you see it, it's going to start bothering you, kind of thing. So yeah, really like focus on, you know, the walls, the joints, and like I said, trying to take in little pieces, little sections of wall, and not try to take in the whole wall at once, and you'll pick up some more. So moving outside, there's a nail up here in the siding, and then down here there's a nail coming out of the wall. And then these two, this one they were not going to change out, but that would really bother me. Just a piece of siding missing there. And then same thing here on this trim board, just the corners missing. I mean, yeah, no one wants that. Plus that's like a good place for water to get in for sure. And this is the last one on this house. Yeah, kind of hard to see, but just needs another coat of paint here. So yeah, that's pretty much everything other than paint and cabinet touch-ups that I found in that home. But yeah, it's enough. You want to get that fixed before closing for sure. So now I'll go to a different neighborhood in Sienna. This builder is pretty good, the one that I'm about to come up to, the one that I'm going to show you some videos on. They did a really good job, but there's always something. So yeah, I think it's starting with door issues. Okay, it took me, I had to go through 3 homes with this builder to find a door like this, but yeah, I don't like, this is like a pet peeve of mine. A door, see how I just let that door go, how it's opening up on its own. So the reason it's doing that is it's out of plumb. Plumb is like the vertical way of saying level. Horizontal is level, and when it's vertical, it's plumb. But I'll just use the term level because I always mix them up, and most people do. So I'll just say level from now on. But this door isn't even too bad. See, I put this level on it. Yeah, excuse the concrete and old concrete and stuff on it. It's a really good level, just been well used, but it's not that bad. It's only like 1/4 inch or 3/8 of an inch out. But because it's like, and there's worse examples I'll show you, that's not bad at all. That's not like something that needs to be, not the level, not how level it is. That's not something that has to be fixed. That's acceptable range. But the only reason it's opening up because it is leaning that way so that it opens up, and it's a heavy door. It's like a solid wood and glass door, so that's why it does it. I'll show you an example of just a hollow core door. Where was that? Jump over here. A hollow core door that it's much worse, but it's not having those issues. So what they did on this door, see how the first 2 hinges were nice and flush to their cutout, but then even though that screw's kind of, I don't know why they, just another turn or something. But anyway, but then the last one, see how they cheated it out 1/4 inch or so. I don't like that look. That looks terrible. There's no need for that. That's just sloppy workmanship. But the reason they did that is so it doesn't have that opening on its own kind of thing. I'll show you this one. See how bad it looks on the level. Now when I try to show it where it should be, a bit more. That's like more like 1/2 inch on that one. Yeah, okay, so the wall's out of level. The framers did it wrong. And then who's ever putting in the door, instead of putting the door in level and ignoring the wall, they went with what the wall was showing. So Now the door's out of level and you're going to end up with that door opening or shutting depending on which way it's leaning on its own kind of thing. So to avoid that, they do that other ugly little hinge adjustment thing. I hate seeing that in a house. So at closing time, it's tear the whole house apart to fix that. But at minimum, I would, fill this in with some drywall mud. Caulking wouldn't look right, but drywall mud and paint it kind of thing. But I mean, this is pretty common, and it wasn't on many doors. Like I said, this builder was doing some really good work generally, but yeah, that's kind of, I don't like seeing that. So I'll show you a different door, an exterior door. This is a garage door going outside. So you can see how tight it is. There's like no space whatsoever, and then it opens up. And then at the top, super tight again. Or say on the side at the top. But then at the very top, it's a much bigger gap. And then we get over to the far side and it's a much bigger gap. So I mean, I hate that look. That looks terrible to me when it's like super tight over here and then a bigger gap. And then like where you look, it's different kind of thing. It should be a nice even reveal all the way around, like 1/4 inch or more, like 3/8 of an inch or something like that. But that doesn't look good at all. That's just sloppy. The frame was put in poorly. No care whatsoever kind of thing. So yeah, that's it. And then on the same door, this is a garage door, so it has that automatic closer. Show you the automatic closer over here. Whoops. Right there. That's like, standard automatic closer. And this has an adjustment on it. So the whole reason for that is to keep the garage door closed in case you have to leave a car running in the garage. It doesn't come in the house and poison you with carbon monoxide, which I don't know. It's kind of seems a bit unnecessary, but every new house is going to have that kind of thing, and that can be adjusted pretty easily too. But the way they did it right now, that should be closing on its own, and it just doesn't latch kind of thing. So it needs to be, the shutting power needs to be increased a little bit. And another common door thing that you'll see, again, just sloppy workmanship early on makes a bad finish later. To see this door strike plate, it should be obviously seated to the back kind of thing. But the problem is this piece of wood here sitting on the frame, that's called a door stop, and it's too far this way. It's coming too far this way, so the door can't shut. So rather than, they've done the caulking and the painting, they don't want to mess with that. So rather than move it back, they just shift this strike plate forward. So I mean, I hate that look. And if you're going to do it, then, fill this in and paint it kind of thing. But they don't. And there was a few doors like this, but I didn't record any of those. But like when you have the same issue when you kind of see it like that, but like where this is too low or this is too high and you have this big gap here kind of thing, same kind of issue. Looks ugly. What they did when they put the frame in, they didn't level it. They didn't level the height of it kind of thing. So again, by better installation earlier, you would avoid this ugly finished product thing. And then, so I just wanted to show you that I just went back to my house just to check something. So fast forward here. I just wanted to show you this so you can see, like, okay, so obviously deadbolt up top, doorknob down below. So I take a screw out of the doorknob one, and it's a short screw, which is fine. It's not like, supposed to be heavy duty security. It does have a lock on it, but the deadbolt is the main security kind of feature. So there's a little short screw. Now, when we take out the one for the deadbolt, these would be this kind of screws they ship with the deadbolt. It's actually much longer. You can see that it's which is good. Now, the reason it's longer is it's supposed to go into the wood framing behind the door frame. So it should, but now let me show you what happens here. Let's see. Let me get my hand out of the way. Okay, so here's the door frame wood, and then there's a gap of, I don't know, 3/4 of an inch or something like that. And then there's the rough lumber framing behind it. So this screw is supposed to penetrate into that lumber behind, but as you can see, it's not long enough to do it. It didn't catch it by 1/8 of an inch, if that kind of thing, if it actually did go in. So, you know, the whole reason to go into that rough lumber is so, like, if someone tries to kick the door in, it's not going to work. These 2 screws here, for if you really care about security, should be replaced by a longer, more heavy duty screw that goes into the rough lumber behind kind of thing. And don't screw it too tight, or you will pull the whole door frame over and maybe crack the caulking on the trim too. So yeah, that's all I got for doors for today. Yeah, I'll show you a couple other things in the house, and that's it. All right, this one's not really a big concern. This is just another personal kind of pet peeve one. So it doesn't really show that clear in the video, but it's a little bit low here compared to the countertop. The stove is kind of thing. So, but it really shows on the level. See how far that off that is. How far off that is. So when it's like that, obviously you're just gonna have, like if you're cooking with oil in a frying pan, it's gonna flow to the back or the front kind of thing. So that kind of irritates me. Easy fix, especially with the stove. You just level off the legs, but not easy. I mean, you gotta pull, easy to do, but like there's some labor involved. You gotta pull out the stove and, you know, screw the leg a little bit and then put it back and test it. So I'd rather have the builder do it, so you don't have to do it after the fact. And then if you have a cooktop on a countertop, I don't know, I've never had to adjust one of those. I'm sure I hope there is a way, because like if the countertop's out of level, then you got bigger issues kind of thing. So yeah, that's it for that. And then, so now up in the attic, a couple things. I didn't really look at the, like I don't know enough about furnaces. I mean, I know a few things, and water heaters to get into, you know, is it installed right? Is the duct work okay? I don't know that. That's like home inspector territory for sure. But just a couple things I was checking on. I've really kind of got a little bit of a session about insulation. I'm going to make another video about insulation, building envelope, and yeah, the different systems builders use kind of thing. A lot of different ways to tackle it, but and air tightness is too kind of thing. I don't think too many people are interested in that, but I definitely am. So I'll make a video on that one day. But the insulation, it's low here. You can kind of see that. And you know, no need for it. You can tell it's like the right height here, and then it dips down. So when you have a low point like that, that changes things a lot. Like all the heat will kind of escape out of there whenever you have a weak point in your insulation or your air tightness kind of thing. So yeah, that's just like easy enough to fix. It's like no need for that kind of thing. And then another kind of example of that, same house where you can see they have about 14 inches of blown insulation in here. But then over here, now I don't know for sure, but maybe this is inside the house, and then over here we're outside the house, so it doesn't need insulation anymore. But I think if they do that, then there would be like a wall here to stop it kind of thing. It shouldn't just like tail off like that. There's a wall to hold it in. This is inside, this is outside, and there's a little wall. But there's not that. So to me, that's like, you know, something's wrong there, something's missing. So yeah, that should be filled in. So there's that. And then the last thing in the attic I'll show you. So this is just, okay, right there. Back that up just a little bit. This is the secondary drain. I didn't really show the furnace. This is pretty tight quarters. I couldn't move that well, so the video is not the greatest, but this is the drain pan that's underneath your furnace, the air handler. this is a secondary drain. There's one inside the furnace that drains out to your plumbing. This one will go towards, this will go over like a bedroom window. If you ever notice that, there's a couple drains over a bedroom window usually, so you notice it if it's dripping kind of thing. So pretty important to keep this clear. These get clogged up a lot though, and I'll show you why. I'm gonna blame builders mostly because just all the debris they have in there. So earlier, there's like all these wood chips, little pieces of wire, and then just, yeah, generally trash everywhere. All this stuff should be cleaned out kind of thing. So I'd clean out my drain pan or get the builder to do it before closing. And then all this stuff I don't know exactly what it kind of looks like, dried salt or something, but like you see rust in drain pans or something like that. And on resale homes, I'll just mention, it's like, I get that request. I've had it like at least 3 times where there's some rust in the drain pan, and then, there's good inspectors, there's good builders, but there's also bad inspectors and bad builders that aren't really knowledgeable, and they're like, change out the drain pan they suggest, and it's like so unnecessary. If there's a little bit of surface rust, if it makes you feel better, it can be cleaned off or something, but you don't need to be pulling out a drain pan unless it's rusting through, which is very unlikely. I've never seen that. I mean, I guess it's possible. But yeah, it just needs to be cleaned up. That should be cleaned up kind of thing. And then over here, oh wait, let me get back. Okay, so this, I think I had a slightly better picture of it, but it doesn't matter. But this is kind of nice. They've got like an alarm for, I don't know what it's tied into, but an alarm. This is a water sensor. So if there is water sitting in the drain pan, if their drain fails because too much of their construction debris got into it, they got a way to notify you. So that is kind of a neat feature. And then over here, so this house had 2 furnaces and 2 water heaters. So just look at that, like, why did they leave the trash up there on a completed house? But 2 water heaters. Unfortunately, they're in the attic though. I mean, as most people know, you don't want it in the attic. It's the least desirable location. If it fails, you got a problem. And if it fails and leaks water, obviously, but even if they just get old and need changed out, that's a big job to get them in and out of the attic. And this house had like very little room to work, kind of thing. So, I mean, not the best way to do it. Obviously, a lot of people are moving to tankless water heaters. Those are usually in the garage or something. So, but yeah, that's it in the attic. So I hope that gives you some things to look for if you're buying a new home on your final walkthrough. I just want to say I'm not trying to replace home inspectors here. They're looking for mechanical stuff typically, or the roof stuff, or things of that nature, and safety stuff for sure, the electrical system. I'm more looking at cosmetic stuff, but I'm also interested in like water penetration. They are too, of course, but cosmetic stuff they're not really focusing on. So things that can annoy you as you move in, just to get a better quality build. That's what I'm looking at. Water penetration, airtightness, insulation, things like that I can pick up. So there's some overlap, but they're still a very necessary part of the building process. Don't skip your home inspection. But yeah, if you're thinking about building a new home or resale too, I can help on those walkthroughs, look for some issues, but especially new homes. Reach out if you want to talk about the different builders, their different strengths and weaknesses in the Houston area or even beyond. Yeah, I'll put my contact info here. You can easily find me just Googling Phil Munkos Realtor, that will pop up. So yeah, that's it. Thanks a lot for watching. Hope you enjoyed it.